Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Well, hey everybody, welcome to the second to last New Life Live of 2025. How's that? We're going to be in the studio for 2 hours today, giving you plenty of time to call in and get unstuck and ready for the new year. My name's Brian Perez, and fielding your questions today, we've got clinical psychologist Dr. Jill Hubbard and licensed professional clinical counselor Becky Brown, who is also the president of New Life Ministries. Becky's got something on her mind, but I do too. Our phone number, it's 1-800-229-3000. All right, Becky, your turn. Take it away.
Do you know, it is the day before the new year, right? And I'm going to say the R word, which may make everybody just cringe, resolution. But here I want to champion you. This year may have stretched you, but it didn't break you. And you're still standing. And even if you're carrying something heavy today, I just want to encourage you that the day can be a new beginning, a new life. We talk about resolutions, goals, intentions for a new year, but it could be that just getting out of bed could be your goal for the day. It's true. But I heard a goal that said a goal in life is to reduce the amount of time it takes to get out of a bad state of mind. And I was thinking about how many people are carrying resentment into the new year, anger, bitterness, victim mentality, shame, guilt, envy, jealousy. But here's an invitation to get out of that state of mind. In Ephesians 4, Paul, who is writing from prison, the whole chapter is really a great resolution read, but he says, I beg you to lead a life worthy of your calling, for you've been called by God. And then verse 2, always be humble and gentle. Be patient with each other, making allowance for each other's faults. Make every effort to keep yourselves united in spirit, binding yourselves together with peace. This is down to verse 31, get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander, as well as all types of evil behavior. Instead, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God, through Christ, forgave you. Do the inner work. What tools do you need to do the inner work so that 2026 is a new life for you? I know that you've got stuff. I know that you've got struggles that you just think, Becky, I cannot get over that. I will never recover from whatever the thing is. I want to encourage you, we love after stories. We love to hear how God works in your life and leads you to a connection with a counselor or a group or a process of just healing those wounds. And we don't want to carry them into a new year. You are still standing. I just took a call with someone who's been giving to our ministry for many years. Her husband just passed away about a month ago. And so, of course, this season has been a season of sadness, understandably so. But I loved her attitude. She says, but I'm going to carry on, and I'm going to keep doing what I need to do to live the life that God has given me to live. And so I just want to encourage you, if resolutions make you freak out, don't freak out, figure it out, and let's move forward into a new year with a great state of mind. And we're here to help you.
That's right. We're going to be here for 2 hours today, in fact. 1-800-229-3000. And we've got a tip sheet that we can send you to. It's called 6 Steps to Turning Resolutions into Realities. Let me hold it up closer so that you can read it. You can't read it? Oh, then just call us and we'll email it to you. 1-800-NEW-LIFE is the number to call, and we'll send you this. It's called 6 Steps to Turning Resolutions into Realities. Don't freak out. Figure it out. I love that, Becky. We'll be back with your calls and your questions to 1-800-229-3000. I see Maria in Chattanooga on the line already, so we'll get to you when we come back from the break on New Life Live.
Hi, Dr. John Townsend here. Resolutions are easy. Education is lasting. If you're ready for a practical next step in your career, the Townsend Institute at Concordia University, Irvine offers accredited online programs in counseling, leadership, executive coaching, and consulting, from certificates to master's and PhD programs, so you can build credentials while you work. Our spring 2026 semester kicks off in February with courses designed for busy work and family schedules. So take one clear step. Join our online information night, Townsend Institute Live, on Wednesday, January 14th. You'll interact with faculty, staff, and alumni. You'll get answers about our degree programs, and you'll enjoy a waived application fee just for attending. So register today at cui.edu/Townsend. Start the year moving toward the callings you were given.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Our first weekend intensive of the year is coming up. Every Man's Battle starts January 23rd in Orange County, California. Now, previous workshops have sold out, so don't delay. And if you register by next Friday, the 9th, you'll get the early bird discount. That's right, the early bird gets the workshop discount at a lower cost. Find all the details at newlife.com. And if you've attended Every Man's Battle in the past, call in. You might be able to share your story of how the Lord used EMB to rebuild your identity as a man of integrity and purpose. And if another guy hears your story, it might encourage him to register. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. And let's talk to Maria in Chattanooga, who is listening to us on WJOC. Hi, Maria. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. I had a question, and I wanted to know, is it okay to separate from my husband to overcome unforgiveness?
Okay.
If I'm wrestling with unforgiveness, and I've been wrestling with it for years, and then I just wanted to know if it's okay to separate, because I'm torn between this.
So, Maria, what are you hoping that the separation will do for you that you're not able to do now?
I'm hoping that the separation will allow me to focus more in on my relationship with God, because I believe I see my husband as an idol. And just to give a little more background, I went through some spiritual abuse 7 years ago. And from that, I wound up losing all of my friends. It was just a horrible time. And I kind of cling to him, hoping that he would be there for me, because everybody else had left. So when the trauma came, all the mental issues and all the diagnosis came, I was asking my husband, would you read the Bible with me and pray with me to help me be restored? And he never took any interest in it. And it's like every time...
that really hurt you.
It just becomes a trigger. Yeah, it becomes a trigger because, it's like I'm trying to be restored. I'm trying to get up. I'm still wrestling with areas of trauma. And I wanted him to read the Bible with me and pray with me. And I would maybe ask him maybe once a year, twice a year. And sometimes he would frown up at me.
Did you ask him what felt...
He's nice.
Did you ask him what felt uncomfortable about your request? Like, does he maybe not feel equipped? Sometimes, we want the men to be the spiritual leader, but they kind of like are deer in headlights because they don't know what that means, or they think it means more than it means.
I can see some of that because I was in ministry.
Yeah, and so it might be kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
So
but it's like, over the years, it's like my situation's gotten worse.
Yeah. But, okay, let me, a couple of thoughts. One, first of all, on forgiveness. If something is ongoing, it's hard to forgive, right? We can forgive what is past. We're enduring and surviving what is current. So we can't move to a place of forgiveness until it is past. Okay, so that's one important point. The other is that we women see everything that's happening to us through the lens of our significant other. This is from the beginning of time, from the fall, right? The husband is looking out to toil the earth, and we're looking at our relationship. And we're looking at our husband, and we're wanting to, in a sense, dominate him, and we were put under him. And so a lot of times when we women are stuck, we think, okay, we've got to change our relationship. And so my challenge to you, Maria, would be, instead of looking to either keeping or removing your husband and making it about him, or him helping you or not helping you, what does Maria need to do with or without him? Like, what if everything you think you're going to do, if you're away from him, do it now. Do it where you're at. Instead of changing something external you're trying to change something external to impact your internal world, work on that internal world now. Take the space you need now, because it's a distraction, really, to focus on changing the external and changing your relationship.
It seems harder because it's like he comes home from work and he wants to watch TV. So I'm in the rut of watching TV, but I know I have this pastoral call on my life, and I don't think he has any interest in it.
Okay.
He doesn't have any interest in encouraging me in that. And I'm trying to be restored after all of the trauma I went through, and he's just...
And it would be nice if your husband would be a partner to you in that way, but he's not feeling the same calling that you're feeling. Maria, take a weekend away. Go away and have a weekend of solitude where you pray and reflect, and you have like your own silent retreat. Do that for a weekend before you're deciding to separate from your husband. I mean, that just sounds like such a leap. Your husband is who he is. You keep praying for him. It doesn't sound like he's violated the marriage. He's just not spiritually where you're at.
I mean, it got bad during those years. I mean, there have been some rough things, some rough patches there.
Okay. And maybe the marriage is a separate issue from what you're struggling with right now. Maybe you need to come to our weekend, our marriage intensive, and get him more on board with you. Okay.
Yeah.
And that way to help the marriage. Right. Go ahead, Becky.
Well, I was just going to say, you're right on target, Jill, because Maria, what's happened now, you were talking about the spiritual idolization that you were going through, spiritual trauma. Well, now this is your husband's fault. And it's not, but this is where your focus is. And he becomes the bad guy. And whether you intend that or not, you can make the story that this is, he didn't support you, he's not praying for you, all of those things. How are you connecting with him? Like, what's going on? Like you asked, Joel, you asked a great question where you said, maybe he feels less than. Maybe he's a little overwhelmed by your calling. But to separate then becomes another problem, Maria. That's not connection. That's literally separating. And I love the idea of getting away and having a spiritual retreat, asking God, what do you want for me, for my calling? It's just like what I was just reading in Ephesians, in Ephesians 4, talking about paying attention to the call that God has on your life and to live at peace. Now, if there have been, and I don't know how long you guys have been married, Maria, how long have you been married?
31 years.
Okay. Yeah. 31 years. Lots happen. Yeah. A lot happens at 31 years.
Yeah.
And I wonder, have you guys ever sat with a marriage counselor to kind of unwind some of these things?
We did for a little while. I mean, he don't really feel a counselor is necessary, but we did once or twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to encourage you and your husband join us at our intimacy and marriage intensive. It will change everything in a good way, because there are blocks in your relationship that you can't understand on a surface level, but we've helped so many couples get to the root cause. Yeah, it's really amazing. And Maria, I don't want you to get focused on I need to stay or I need to go. when the marriage may not be the issue, unless you're
I
in
think
danger.
I think there's a lot of disappointments that you've had, Maria. I mean, definitely a lot of hurts, and I'm not saying there hasn't.
From the church,
What?
even from just from the church, you know, and it was just like women left me, and you know, and women were waiting on me to drop dead so they can have my husband, and I mean, just
oh my
a lot
goodness!
Of stuff. And to some degree, he sided in with some of this stuff, you know, and I mean, it's like.
And if there's never been a resolution, Maria, to your story, because we've helped a lot of couples who have had some major things like this, and they're able to work through it so that is in the past. That's not their current. They're not carrying that baggage forward. And a 31-year investment in a marriage is worth doing a little extra work, and maybe a lot more extra work, so that you won't have the question of whether I should stay or go. You'll know.
Well, and if you're feeling a spiritual calling on your life, I don't think a spiritual calling from God would include leaving my husband. Right? That seems incompatible. And so that's where I think, everything that I've already said, right?
Yeah.
Instead
Well,
of the
and I
focus
wonder,
being on the husband.
I was going to say, Maria, what would your husband say to us if he were listening to this call?
He would say that he stays for the kids. I'm sure there's areas of frustration with him because I go through a lot of mental battles due to the trauma. So he endures a lot with me, but he don't want to hurt the kids.
Yeah.
And I think he tries, but I just find myself just struggling and with the unforgiveness. So I'm probably not being forgiven by God and being completely restored. So it just feels like a cycle. Then I'm triggered. Then I'm in unforgiveness. And
so, Maria, spend some time in that 4th chapter of Ephesians and just pray for God to release you from this mental torment that you have. Because you know enough about the Word. You've been called, and your husband is willing. He's committed. He wants to, stay, but this is an area of frustration that feels overwhelming to both of you. And I think a third party counselor can help.
And even if you started with some individual therapy, Maria, to sort things out, to have someone help you kind of walk through that. And I would also be thanking your husband for enduring this with you. Maybe acknowledging that it hasn't been easy, the struggle that you've had. And maybe he hasn't done all that you wished he would do, but he has been enduring it with you. And sometimes when we start with a little gratitude, someone softens towards us instead of feeling like all the things we're not doing are being mentioned. And
none of us do everything that the other person wants us to do.
No, yeah.
And that's the hard part, But Maria, this is worth fighting for, to get some clarity. And, the other thing I was thinking about, Joe, when you were talking about, when we're called into ministry, the enemy also comes after us, too. And, what's a better way to attack but to attack our marriages?
Yep, absolutely.
How does 1 Corinthians 7 play into this, verses 13 and 14? If a believing woman has a husband who is not a believer and he's willing to continue living with her, she must not leave him, for the believing wife brings holiness to her marriage. What would you guys say?
Well, she said that he is a believer. He just doesn't go along with the way that she wants things to go with her.
He doesn't express his faith in the way that she would like.
Yeah.
Right, so maybe he doesn't have the same depth or maturity that she has, right? But that's not enough to leave a person over.
Right.
So the Intimacy and Marriage Intensive that Jill mentioned, that is coming up February 13th through the 15th in Orange County, California. You can find out more about it at newlife.com. Anything else for you, Maria? Maria, you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, so if you go ahead. Did you have any
last comment?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just really, really frustrated. I guess, it's just I wanted him to be that. And I know it's a part of my imagination. My imagination is when one person falls, the other one helps lift them up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But he hasn't been that source for me. And, just the battle, now I'm wrestling with a lot of sickness in my body. So,
Yeah.
Well, Maria, we can get you connected with a therapist, too, that can help you walk through some of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stay on the phone and we'll do that. And if everybody else listening and watching can keep Maria and her husband in your prayers, that would be phenomenal. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call us today on New Life Live. We're going to be in the studio for 2 hours. We would love to hear from you. If you need help navigating someone in your life who's a narcissist, or maybe your parents are aging and you're not sure how to process all that. So much that we can talk about here on New Life Live. Give us a call at 1-800-229-3000. Susie, you are next.
New Life Ministries has had an incredibly positive and heartfelt impact on my life. My walk with God continues to grow and strengthen every day because of all of your wonderful ministries, teaching, and love for all. I'm really a much better person because of everyone at New Life. I can't thank all of you enough. You've truly changed my life and my family.
Hello, this is Becky Brown, and as we end this year, you can be part of the impact that New Life will have on the lives of so many in the coming year. To give your tax-deductible gift and be part of life change, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. You can also text your gift, text NLM to 28950. That's 28950. Don't miss your opportunity to change a life forever. 1-800-NEW-LIFE, 1-800-NEWLIFE.
Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
One call could change everything. Give us a call at 1-800-229-3000. We are here in the studio for 2 hours today. We being myself, Brian Perez, Dr. Jill Hubbard, and Becky Brown. And now Susie's joined us from Maryland. Susie listens on WAVA. Welcome to New Life Live, Susie.
Thank you.
How can we help you today?
My husband left me here about a month and a half ago. And I don't know if I even want to continue with the relationship. I'm kind of tired of the mind games, and I'm tired of the disconnect, and I'm tired of the get even punishments. And I'm tired of him, being like an ostrich, just puts his head in the dirt, not to want to confront pretty much anything. And then be it finances, being a relationship, being what I think couples should talk about. And so this has been going on a long time. And so I feel like I'm being punished in many different ways. And I think I've reached the end of my rope, and I think he has too. And so he says the last thing for me to do, and the kids to tell me, because he talks to them instead of talking to me. He doesn't put his head in the dirt when it comes to them. He'll put his head in the dirt when it comes to me, right? And so my last recourse apparently is by him is to seek mental help. And I said, okay, I will seek mental help. If it satisfies all of you, I will do it. That's it. So I'm
Susie,
just,
how long have you guys been married, and how long has this been a problem?
About 36 years, and it's been a problem. Good, little over 30, honestly. Yep, I can say that. It's been around. We saw 3 marital counselors, and no, it has not progressed. Actually, one of the secular ones that we went to, meaning outside of the church, he said after our 4th, talk or therapy, he said, I would. This is our last visit, and I'm done with you. I washed my hands of the whole thing, and of course that shocked me. And I said, why? He says, because you're the martyr, and he's the narcissist, and so I can't help you too.
So the therapist said that.
Yeah, the therapist said that. He says, you're the martyr, and he's either the narcissist or another word they have for someone who, gives all the orders and whatever, and the other one just sits there mildly and mousy-like, and then just complies.
So what did you think about being called a martyr?
I'll be honest with you. I thought he hit it on the button.
Okay.
I think he's got us both pegged.
I think you got your money's worth. He was honest with you, right?
I'm like, okay. And then it hasn't changed too much. And that was like a good 20-something years ago. Yep.
Do you know, but what's interesting about that, though, Susie, we always tell people, narcissism is a word that people get labeled as. But just in your description of what's been happening, he sounds pretty narcissistic, and I don't know what his story is, but just the one key thing that you said is where he goes to the kids.
Yeah.
He's getting his audience.
Right.
There.
He's building a case.
And Susie, because you won't go along with it, you won't sit in the seats and go, good job, or, yeah, you're right. He can't tolerate that. It's just too much. Do you know, or did you read anything about what narcissism or if somebody has these traits, what the cause is, or do you?
Yes, I have, because they've accused me of being a narcissist. So I went to research what is a narcissist, and I began to think, hey, wait a minute. I read, and I said, hey, maybe that is me. Or you know what? Other thing I read that's something new age nowadays is this fearful avoidance and attachment avoidance and all this new stuff. And then I looked up that, and I said, well, maybe I'm a fearful avoidance personality. Or trait or person, I don't know. And then I'm like, you know what?
But it doesn't.
I'm just going to. Go ahead.
It doesn't sound like you're the one avoiding. It sounds like you're wanting to engage and pursue him, but he's running to the kids, and he's the one that's pulling back from you.
So badly, truthfully, so badly that I can see why the kids are, and they listen. Because I've gotten to the point where I throw a tantrum now. Truthfully, I just throw a tantrum. If you're not going to listen to me the right way, or anything, I'm just going to throw a tantrum.
I'm going to get you to hear me, one way or the
Susie,
other.
here's
because why? Because you connect to that extent where you live in a different part of the house. You don't come up to look for snacks or whatever. Oh no, No.
Right.
No.
Susie, here's the thing. I would say this to you or anybody that's in a situation like this. When someone else is determining who we are, I mean, like when you think about the times when you're throwing a fit, is that your best self? Is that who you really want to be? I don't think so. But it's so hard because you're not being heard, you're not being respected, all of those kind of things. But the goal isn't to be in a reactive state. The goal is to say, okay, what's going on here? What do I need to do? What tools and resources so that I can get to that center of me, what God is calling me to be? Because when you're in this reactive state, it keeps the problem going for the whole family, and you can't get clarity that way.
Susie, we're coming up to our break. We'll continue our conversation with you when we come back here on New Life Live. Phone lines are open at 1-800-229-3000. We're going to be in the studio for the rest of this hour and all of next. So grab an open line. We've saved a line just for you at 1-800-229-3000. We can't wait to hear from you as we wind down 2025 and prepare to meet 2026 head on. 1-800-229-3000.
I went to Every Man's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity. Impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Orange County, California, January 23rd through the 25th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 Steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And back to Susie and Marilyn. Dr. Jill Hubbard, what would you say to Susie?
Well, Susie, I really like what Becky was saying to you about the reactivity that, you know, in marriages, in any relationship, dynamics are mostly co-created. So one person does something, the other person reacts to it, and then you start this cycle. And so it makes sense why you would want to get attention, and that you will use any means, right? It's like with children. If they can't get positive attention, they go for the negative attention. And so that's what you're doing, because I think one of the worst things in any relationship, and narcissists are really good at this, of treating you like you don't exist. And there's something inside all of us that says, I exist, I'm here, and I want you to see me. So we really feel for your situation. It's really easy, especially, again, with people that are more narcissistic, to spend all of your time focused on them. They're the most avoidant, and yet they really demand a lot of attention. And the rest of us give it to them. And so I think it would be most beneficial, Susie, for you to kind of turn your eyes back on you and like, okay, what do you need to work on? Like Becky, you were saying, what do you need to work on in Susie to be the best Susie you can be? And I think about what that therapist said to you 20 years ago about you being the martyr. Well, stop that. Stop being the martyr, Susie. Stop being dependent on what your husband does for your value and self-worth. And start seeking out relationships that will mirror to you who you really are. And start making a shift, because one of the ways we can impact our family is to be different, is to react different. When husband tries to provoke, which they do, it's like they'll provoke, and then, you know, the other person acts crazy, and then they say, see, you're the crazy one. So true. Do not bite the bait. Know who he is and stop biting the bait. And then add in anything that you can say to him that's good about him. Narcissists eat that up. I mean, it's like classic textbook. Just, anything you can praise him for, do that, because that will soften him. And so if you're working on you and you're noticing good in him, that's a whole different vibe than what's happening now in your family.
Well, and one more thing, Susie, he left. So he's not even in the house right now.
He left, yeah.
And so this is your opportunity to do some healing, to get a better frame of mind, because I can tell you this, if you don't do that and he decides to come back, guess what? It's going to be around 34 or whatever, however many years you've been married, because the things that don't change, they just stay the same. And so
or they get worse.
Or they get worse, right. And so do the work for your own healing and develop that peaceful core, knowing who you are, understanding, and you did the research already, but here's the thing, Susie, as long as you're reacting, you are not at peace, and you're not going to be able to make a good decision if he says, I want to come back. And,
well, also, I think he goes to the kids. And narcissists are really good at trying to turn kids against the other partner. And so that's why you have to do the work. You cannot stay in that acting out, crazy, reactive place, because it just makes you look bad, and it doesn't solve anything. And it'll push your kids away from you as well.
Susie, we're going to send you a copy of How We Love from the newlife.com store. That would be a great resource for you, so stay on the line. Thanks for calling in today to New Life Live, 1-800-229-3000. I've noticed a theme here with our callers. It's women who are saying, I want out of this relationship that I'm in, this marriage, and it reminds me of something we talked about a few days ago on the program. I think when Jim and Sherry were here, that I think it's the first Monday of every year is called Divorce Day or something like that. Yeah, because that's when some couples just say, you know what, we got through the holidays,
and now we're done.
And now we're done. So I don't know if that's what's going on with some people, but
well, I think sometimes, and we talked about a new year, but I was telling Jill at the break, every day is an opportunity for a new year. Your new year starts today. Doesn't matter what the calendar date says. And so in both of these calls, we've heard women who are in this distressed state thinking the other person is going to fix it. That like
if they change, then our world will be better.
Right. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did. Maybe I don't. Because then recognizing that you have a lot of power, recognizing what your hurts, your wounds, what you need, how do you define that, and building a connection with people who support you, and not being in a state of distress all the time.
And that's where, therapy can really help for you to be able to reflect and take that time out to focus on how you can make the changes. Because we get stuck in thinking we only see a few options. And a lot of times none of them are good. So we need some other perspectives to see, we actually have more options. There are different ways to approach this.
Most of our options start with, I want them to be different. I want them to be.
If only they would.
Exactly. And that is, there's no power there at all. You can identify what you want from the other person, but your work is, how do I express what I need? How do I connect with that person? And how do I hear what their expectations are and what their need is? But none of that happens in a state of reactivity.
Right. And you might even be right about them. You might be 100% right about them. But being right doesn't fix things.
That's right.
Let's go to Pam in Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, to be more exact. She listens on Sirius XM channel 131. Welcome to New Life Live, Pam. Thanks for calling 1-800-229-3000.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thanks.
Well, my question is, I have a son and a wonderful daughter-in-law, and my son is the epitome of a narcissist. And he started working at the church after 3 years after being saved, and he's wonderful at what he does at his church, but at home, he is very verbally abusive, not only to his wife, but to other members of the family. And my daughter-in-law trusts me, and she tells me, and I feel so bad for her. I've been telling them that they should go and have some counseling for probably at least 2 years. And he just doesn't want to hear it. I feel bad. I see things falling apart. I wouldn't put up with what he does. And I feel so bad for my daughter-in-law. And I pray. Hey, I prayed so much. He got saved, and he just, wanted to serve. He said he heard God calling. I just don't know what to do anymore. I don't want to be meddling. If I say anything to him, then he blows up at me. And I'm kind of at a loss. And I just wonder if I should even be involved.
Pam, is his dad still in the picture?
He has a very, very strained relationship with his father. He is trying to reconnect, but it always has to be on his terms.
Are you
on
still married
to? Sorry.
No, on my son's terms.
Oh, okay.
Are you still married to his dad?
No.
Okay.
I'm remarried.
And how long has Dad been out of the picture?
Oh goodness, a good 30 years.
Oh wow.
Does he have a good relationship with your husband?
Oh yeah. I mean, he will talk to him, and my husband always says, "I wish I could just talk to him," but he has expectations of everybody else that he doesn't live up to.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't have a good relationship with his sister. He's lost a lot of friends because he expects things from them. It's like when a mother can see the faults in her own child, I'm not going to cover them up, but I see it. I mean, he's had me in tears a lot of times because, he wants me to take his side, and his side is not right.
Pam, the music is starting, and so we'll have to go to a break. But, this is painful.
Yeah.
And it's even more painful because he is in the church, and I'm wondering if he has any spiritual mentors or leaders that are above him. We could talk about that after the break, but it's amazing. This goes back to just doing our own work because we impact so many people, good or bad, just, our unhealed wounds. And that's what I'm hearing with this son of yours, Pam.
Yeah, stay on the phone. We'll come back to you, Pam, on New Life Live.
Here at New Life, we want you to have transformation. And so we have created the New Life courses, and you meet weekly on Zoom with a coach or counselor. You're going to have teaching as well as that group connection, because we know how powerful that is. We hear that all the time about our intensives, that they love the information, but the group process is so powerful. And many of you have been hesitant to participate because you're not sure, the timing, the price. The New Life courses are going to meet you right at that area of need. Every week you're meeting on Zoom with that therapist. You're going over the concepts as well as connecting as a group. It is so powerful, and it's accessible. Wherever you are, you're going to be able to join us.
Begin your transformation January 29th with a New Life course. Lose it for life, take your life back, or healing is a choice. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His
his.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And let's go back to Pam in Pennsylvania. You still with us, Pam?
Yep.
Thanks for holding through the break.
Yes.
So Pam, we were talking at the break, and I'm wondering if your husband, one of the ideas that we thought about was just building that bridge, not going to your son with, you're a problem and here's how you need to fix it. Not doing that, but just to connect with him, coffee once a week or something like that. The other thing I was thinking about,
of stepdad doing that.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about, is stepfather. While he might not be able to say things as directly as he would like, if he starts meeting with him on a regular basis, he's an example of a man and can hopefully earn the right to speak more into his life about maybe how he treats his family and what men are supposed to do.
And the reason why your son doesn't want to meet with his own birth father, unless it's on his terms, is because his birth father has caused him pain. And I don't even know the story, but this is, he's going to try and control that situation so he doesn't get more pain from that reconnection. But the one last thing, Pam, if he's in church work and he has a pastor, this is a big thing, but maybe you and your husband go to that pastor or make a phone call and say, hey, I don't know, but if you could talk to him about his family life, I'm hearing from his wife. I mean, I know that sounds really risky, but he's not listening to anybody in the family. Maybe he would listen to the pastor.
What if his wife called the pastor instead of?
Well, that's another thing that could happen. She could ask for some help. Because, he's wonderful at church, but it's the opposite at home. And that's never a good recipe to have that discrepancy. And Pam...
What is that? Well, I wonder, what does that sound like to you, Pam? Any of those things that we just talked about?
Well, one of the challenges that we have is we live out of state. So we don't, we can't interact every week, although it's a wonderful idea. And I've actually asked my daughter-in-law, could you do that? And she's so afraid of the repercussions that, because he goes ballistic.
Right.
And she, I've asked her to do that, and I don't know if she would move forward. I've even asked her, you need to get counseling so that you know how to deal with this personality.
Well,
so
Pam,
I don't know. I mean, I could
here's a situation. You could have your husband call him once a week. Doesn't even have to be in person. Just making that connection can make an impact. And then
just chit-chatting, right?
Yeah.
Just building the rapport. So that frequency over time is important.
And the other thing about your daughter-in-law, if she is in danger, because people who go ballistic, like you're describing, sometimes that over the edge happens. And then you look back and you say, I should have let somebody know. That was local. And so it could be that you ask her, do you have a safe place to go? Because, people who lose their emotions, when they, go on a tirade or crash out, as the kids say, we always think, well, it won't ever get that bad. But when we hear stories of desperate situations, we can find the trail backwards. They don't blow up one day. They've blown up consistently over time. And we need to get her the connections that she needs.
Well, and Pam, I mean, one thing, you are a wonderful mother-in-law to your daughter-in-law. I mean, she feels safe with you, and at least she has you to talk to. You can't change the situation, so it's a helpless situation for you. But you can support her and pray for her and encourage her to take steps. And this is what happens when someone is very controlling or narcissistic. The spouse is afraid, right? They're crossing their T's and dotting their I's and are so afraid. And so, encouraging her to take some risks. You know your son's whole story. You know his unhealed wounds. And I don't know if you can ever, in a compassionate way, and I always say with people that are more narcissistic or not trusting, you have to say good things to them first. You can't just bring up problems. And so to be able to, see the good that's in your husband, right? Because he's needing that, right? Narcissists need a lot of affirmation. And a lot of that is because of the deep-seated shame that they have from a really young age. And then to be able to say, and son, I know you were so hurt. I know you have these hurts. And to, kind of give him that compassion, when mostly with narcissists and people who are controlling, we want to just like confront them, tell them where they're wrong, and stand up to them. But that's not how you kind of get to them. You have to come in kind of through the side door, saying good things and having compassion for their hurts. And then sometimes they're more amenable to hearing things.
Pam, we're going to send you a copy of Doing Life with Your Adult Children from the newlife.com store. Thank you so much for calling in today here on New Life Live at 1-800-229-3000. And we're going to be in the studio for another hour, so you can still call in and talk to Dr. Jill Hubbard and Becky Brown about whatever it is that you're going through right now. 1-800-229-3000. And God did some amazing things through New Life Ministries over the past 363 days. And there are 2 days left for us to help begin the next 365 days on firm financial footing. Here are some more numbers, Becky. I read an interesting stat on the show the other day that 20% of all donations are sent in the last 2 weeks of the year. That means when there's only 4% of year left, that's when we receive 20% of our gifts. I just thought that was interesting.
Well, I also think it's funny because people think, I support New Life. But yet you don't. You may not realize that you haven't made the phone call or gone to newlife.com and clicked on donate and made your gift. You know what, I want to just encourage you, that is sustainable giving. It is making a difference in the lives of so many people who you may never meet this side of heaven. But the giving helps the people that we are hearing on these calls, the people who we don't ever talk to, but they've received great godly counsel through our many resources, through even if they listen to the program and they don't call in. I know that I've benefited from hearing callers because it makes me reflect back on my own life. And we want to continue to offer help. The world is crazy right now. I think you can agree with me on that. And I think that if you have listened to us long enough, you know that New Life represents what God wants for each and every one of us, a new life, a transformed life. And we do it through true truth, God's truth, godly counsel, people who have done the work and done their studies and have compassionate care for the people that we serve. And, I just want to invite you and say thank you in advance to give to New Life.
Please consider making a gift that's postmarked by December 31st. Get ready. I'll give you our mailing address in 10 seconds. Or you can give online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or text NLM to 28950. Okay, it's been 10 seconds. Here's our mailing address. New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, not to be confused with Wake Forest, North Carolina. It's Lake Forest, California, zip code 92609. Just make sure that envelope is postmarked by tomorrow, December 31st. All right, we're going to stay in the studio for another hour. What's going on in your life? We want to talk to you about it and help you meet 2026 with being encouraged in 2026 as you start the new year. So give us a call at 1-800-229-3000.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.